The story begins in the dead of winter, deep in the frozen mountains of Colorado. An old legend whispers of a dark, malevolent spirit that haunts the forest. Locals say it emerges during times of extreme hunger and desperation, punishing anyone foolish enough to consume human flesh. And if this creature ever appears in your dreams, it's already too late. The victim is destined to become a relentless, unsatisfied beast, wandering the forest forever. Amid the snow, a car is barely visible under a thick blanket of white. A streak of red blood cuts across the pure snow, eventually stopping near the tiny body of a little girl. The day before, David Peterson was preparing for a trip in his car, ignoring warnings of heavy blizzards and sub-zero temperatures. As he drove through the storm, he decided to take a short break when he spotted a small roadside diner. Inside, a young waitress named Anna was finishing up serving a man named Gene and his son. Anna glanced at her phone, 13 missed calls and a single vulgar message. Panic set in when she realized the sender was Vince, her ex-husband. David walked in at the very moment Anna was saying goodbye to Gene and taking his order. She warned him that the cook had left because of the storm, so David had no choice but to settle for a simple slice of pie. As she handed it to him, he noticed a dark bruise on her arm. She tried to hide it, but her fear became reality when Vince's car pulled up outside. Vince burst in, shouting and cursing, furious that Anna hadn't answered his calls. Their argument centered on their daughter, Ella, whom Anna was desperately trying to protect from her drunken father. Vince grabbed Anna's arm and shook her violently until a firm voice cut through the chaos. "You'd better stop right now." It was David. Vince, shocked by this stranger's audacity, turned his rage on him. Calmly, David spilled his coffee and warned Vince to go home, promising he would never see his daughter again if he harmed anyone tonight. Astonishingly, it worked. Vince left, muttering threats, spitting on David's pie, and waving a knife in a menacing, controlled manner. Before leaving, he even kicked off David's side mirror. Anna apologized for the chaos and offered to prepare David the proper meal he had wanted. Minutes later, David patched the broken mirror with duct tape and drove off, unaware that Vince was still trailing him. At the next gas station, David stopped to refuel and passed by a small kiosk, oblivious that Vince was nearby, chugging beer after beer. David's bill came to just over $50, which he paid in cash, joking with the clerk that his wife had the other card and didn't need to know every expense. Meanwhile, Vince spotted David's car. He almost attacked, but a police vehicle arrived at that exact moment. An officer ordered David to fix the taped mirror before being fined. Vince couldn't make a move and had to wait until David drove off before tailing him again. David only realized he was being followed when Vince nearly rammed him with his truck. Being sober, he managed to evade the attack, turning off onto a side road and shutting off his headlights to hide. The plan worked. Vince's truck passed by without noticing him. But David's relief was short-lived. His car slid on the icy road and got stuck in a snowbank. Panic set in. Not only was Vince still out there, but the blizzard outside was intensifying. He struggled against the freezing wind to clear the snow from his tires, nearly collapsing from exhaustion. His phone had no signal, leaving him with few options. He decided to conserve the car's battery and wait out the storm. Then came a heavy, unsettling noise nearby, footsteps or maybe knocking. He couldn't see anything outside and refused to risk stepping into the storm. When the wind finally calmed, David opened the door and, with binoculars in hand, spotted smoke rising in the distance. Hopeful, he opened his trunk. And here, the dark truth was revealed. After the diner incident, David had kidnapped Anna. He coldly ordered her not to move, slammed the trunk shut, and walked away briefly. Anna seized her chance, struggling until she freed her hands from the duct tape. She banged on the trunk, screaming for help, and managed to push through the back seat, spotting a child's car seat in front of her. When David returned, she threw herself forward and escaped. But the blizzard slowed her down, and she fell to her knees. David, injured after stepping into a snow-filled hole, screamed in pain and limped after her. Anna ran back to the car, trembling, and searched through his belongings. She found duct tape and a bottle of chloroform. David crawled back, bleeding heavily, and sat behind the wheel, unaware Anna was now hiding behind his seat. As he tried to tend his gruesome wound, Anna prepared the chloroform-soaked cloth. When David grew suspicious, adjusting the mirror to check, she attacked him from behind, pressing the rag to his face until he passed out. When he woke, he was tied up in the driver's seat. Anna had turned the tables. Holding his own knife to his throat, she demanded answers. As Anna pressed him further, she discovered a box filled with trophies of his victims, young girls he had kidnapped and killed. Among the photos and videos were images of her and her daughter Ella, proving he had been stalking her for a long time. Enraged, Anna read each victim's name aloud while shoving the papers into his face. David mockingly recounted his first kill, a girl named Casey Beckerman, who had trusted him for a ride. He stabbed her brutally, and despite his clumsy first attempt, he took pride in it. Anna, disgusted, asked what could turn a man into such a monster. David laughed at her list of typical reasons: abuse, trauma, mental illness, but his composure cracked when she mentioned his mother. That clearly was his deepest wound. Later, in the freezing darkness, strange noises surrounded the car. Something heavy leaped onto the roof. Both David and Anna froze in terror. The windshield began to crack under the pounding of human-like hands. Anna honked the horn desperately until the thing left. David's leg was turning black from frostbite. Anna coldly told him that losing the leg would be the least of his problems if the storm didn't end. She then recounted the local legend, the evil spirit of the forest that hunts the desperate, haunting them first through dreams. At that exact moment, the car battery finally died, plunging them into complete darkness. Hours later, shivering, Anna pressed against David for warmth, still holding the knife in case he tried anything. He whispered about his childhood, claiming he had wished to be different, while Anna revealed her own tragic past of abuse, crime, and survival until she became a mother and decided to give her daughter the life she never had. David eventually freed himself, seized the knife, and attacked her, swearing that after he finished with her, he would find Ella too. They fought savagely until the creature outside shattered the windshield. Antlers appeared in the blizzard. It was the spirit, drawn by their suffering. Anna managed to kick David out of the car, leaving him to face the entity. Desperate to survive, she hid inside the same trunk she once escaped. Clutching a photo of her daughter, she swore not to fall asleep, though exhaustion weighed heavily on her. By dawn, Gene, the city employee from the diner, happened to pass by. He saw Anna's jacket in the snow, near what looked like a pile of entrails. Following strange sounds toward the forest, he searched the car and finally opened the trunk. Inside, he found Anna, nearly frozen but still alive, her eyes flickering open.